Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with a dedicated row of solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3604. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. What's that today? Ryan Castle joins us from his basement studio bar dungeon once again. We will sit and spin now. And today we cash in with 10 artists who made bank in 2021. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
All right, here we go. Politician is blasted for showing a photo of his wife shoveling her driveway after her 12-hour hospital shift. Meanwhile, 2 Florida women are arrested after glitter bombing a man at 3 a.m. because of a rift. Wisconsin man gets a DUI, so the wife says, to hell with it, I'll get one too. With robbery in progress, 2 officers of the law decided they had maybe something better to do. And apparently in Florida, there is one golfer who is shocked to see an alligator on a golf course. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right. People calling out from work is obviously nothing new. People have called out from work as long as phones and jobs have existed. Now, sometimes it's because you're actually sick or you have an emergency, but let's face it, more often than not, it's because you have a hangover. Well, according to the results of a new survey, we have a new reason to call out from work. 18% of the people who call in sick, they do so to binge watch TV at home. That's right. About 1 in 6 people admits, I've called in sick because I want to binge watch a TV show at home. Now, that should not be terribly shocking, as almost half of the people surveyed admit that they've binged more than 8 hours of a show in one sitting. Now, most people, of course, they exercise some self-control and come into work, but that doesn't mean they do their job. Now, it used to be that the NCAA's March Madness, that was the one time of the year that people ignore their job. But 2 cops with the LAPD, they've upped the ante. Now, sure, they got a dispatch from their commanding officer about a, quote, robbery in progress. Their squad car. It was the closest to the scene, but they couldn't be bothered to help because they were playing Pokemon Go. As you might imagine, they were fired. But the good news is that they caught a Snorlax and a Togetic, respectively. Is that good, Mike?
I think so, yeah.
You think so? All right. Either way, they lost their jobs for it. I hope so. And then there are those people that show up for and keep their job, but then they drain their savings to satisfy their Magic the Gathering addiction. Well, we have the story of at least one such guy, but we know he's not alone. Because whether it's gambling, porn, gaming, binge watching TV, all of us have some kind of addiction or obsession. And the thing is, they call it an obsession because a lot of times you run into trouble. And that's what today's question is. And again, we don't care if it's gambling, porn, gaming, binge watching TV, whatever it is. How did your addiction or obsession get you into a little bit of trouble?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Oh, fiddlesticks! What, Wilbur? We just got hit and I think my back is all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What? Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What? Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cashback Match. Now to recap and say cashback one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Goes right to that well.
Yeah. We know one thing about him now.
Well, so, maybe I do. All the Machols, and away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3604. What a large and charged program we've got for you today. A guaranteed future repeat. Guaranteed. That's right, Ryan Castle will once again join us. We'll sit and spin. We've got 10 artists who made bank in 2021. You say, how did anybody make any money in 2021, especially in the music industry? They sold the rights to their songs and their catalogs.
See, that'll do it.
And they made bank. I mean, they really did. These guys, I mean, some people just sold individual songs.
Right.
Some people sold their entire catalogs. Some families sold portions of their share in catalogs. It's like a mini stock market, you know what I mean, of that one stock and who owns it.
Like, what band do you hate the most? Where, like, some rich family member that you didn't know you had goes, Miles, before I die, I just want to let you know, I bought a band's catalog. Maybe they're popular, maybe they're not. But it's this band. Like, for me, they'd be like, man, I bought your musical catalog. Like, oh, my God, that's unbelievable. It's Poison. Like,
Well,
I mean, I know there's money to be made, but, like, I don't want my name attached.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Ricky Rocket's got a kid somewhere.
Right.
And he owns a small stake in Unskinny Bop. And a few other too.
Yeah.
Now, this could lead to a life of, riches. If just for one reason, Weight Watchers wants to pick up Unskinny Bop.
Right.
Use it in a commercial. Now, this guy, you know what I mean? He's got to maybe, use it to his advantage, but just kind of figure out a way to make coin off of, the artist in the particular song and how that would work.
I'm going to buy you Crocus.
Crocus?
The musical catalog of Crocus, yeah. Screaming in the Night, man. We go through this every time.
What is that, for a baby who's colicky?
Maybe. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, What the hell do I use that
You
for?
firing up the Crocus there, Mike?
No. Okay, good. Thank you.
Come on, man.
No, there's better choices, I think. I think you can, there's a lot more stuff out there.
I buy you the musical catalog to Crocus, and that's the thing. So again, it's like, really?
I don't want Crocus.
But that's what I've willed this to. You can make money. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, when I buy the rights to something, does that mean I can make like can I make socks and stuff like that?
Crocus, man.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, because you only have the rights to the music. I don't know if you have rights to like the images.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll take. I'll take Grim Reaper.
Okay.
I'll take Grim Reaper, See You in Hell.
There you go.
And that way I can sell it to like the Mormon church, you know.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, man.
You know,
that works.
Or whoever. You know what I mean? Maybe the Catholic diocese, you know, if they want to.
Yeah, sell it to us Catholics. Hell's big with us.
Well, they had See You in Hell, Fear No Evil. Like, there's a lot of good things at the Catholic Church.
Have you not been to church in a while? I'll see you in hell, my friend.
And just play Grim Reaper, you know what I mean? They got tons of money.
You're telling me.
No, they couldn't do crap with that.
Screaming in the Night. Here is this is your biggest song. I bestow upon you the Crocus catalog. Miles Montgomery, here's your biggest tune.
I wouldn't mind owning a song.
No. You got the whole thing. Except this song.
Then
I kept this song for me. Right. You get the rest of the Crocus catalog.
Let me ask you a question. All right. Then when like the Monsters of Rock cruise happens, okay?
Yeah.
Do they call me to see if Crocus can be booked? Or is that different?
No, but if they're going to use the song in their ad, they got to call you.
But the band can still perform. Crocus is on the Monsters of Rock yacht tour or whatever
Here's
it is.
What I propose.
Yeah.
Hey, shh. Hey, turn this up, man. Miles, this can be yours.
I swear I don't even know this song.
No, it's terrible. Not only that. Okay, here's my proposal. If the boat goes down like Titanic in the middle of the night,
okay.
Right? You know, like the band plays.
Would they be screaming in the night?
They get to play Screaming in the Night, and the ship goes down. You know what I'm saying?
You could have sold this
because
Titanic.
Look, basically, they're closing the show. Because the ship's going down. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So either way. Maybe that's the only way.
Is that the last thing you want to hear?
Screaming in the Night?
Yeah.
I mean, not really. I'd rather probably hear regular people just screaming.
I'd rather just hear terror.
Yeah, exactly, than hear Crocus. Like, why are they playing Crocus? This is terrible. Yeah. So we're going to do 10 artists who made bank in 2021, and believe it or not, all shapes, walks of life made money. It wasn't not just living artists, people who have passed on. There are individuals who just write songs, believe it or not, for TV shows, themes for TV shows. It's kind of like the Grammys. There's a lot of different categories. There's a lot of different catalogs that were sold. It was like 350 different catalogs.
I'm going to buy you, this is what I'll get you. It's not going to be Crocus. Whoever most recently won Best Spoken Word. Right,
that's somebody like a former president or something.
It probably is, but
typically it's somebody like that.
Yours.
Like Al Gore's got a Grammy for that. I mean, what the
like if I had a catalog of a band I didn't like, I'd just become their biggest fan.
Just to get people interested.
Right.
Who would that band be? Like, who do you just kind of hate? For whatever reason, you just don't like.
Man, that's tough.
O-Town, one of those boy bands, you know what I mean?
No, you make bank on those. That's easy money, man.
They were kind of fake. They don't really bug me. All right. I guess probably Lou Bega.
Lou Bega? You make bank on Bega.
No,
I know, but I just
you make bank on Mom. What if I buy the rights to Mambo number 5 and give you the rest of Lou Bega's catalog?
You buy the Don McLean catalog. You're buying American Pie.
Right, nothing
You're
else.
Not buying anything else. I mean, we all know the one-hit wonders out there. You know why you're buying a song. You buy the Lee Greenwood catalog.
Right.
It's one song. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, you get the whole body of his 30 years of work, but half that is just crap. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're specifically targeting, I think, one potential good money-making opportunity.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Just Mambo number 5.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody.
I want you to keep in mind, this is the best song he has. You can just remember that.
You could use this for a commercial.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I had a musician or just, I just hate this song.
But what if you owned it?
That's what I'm saying. I'd be like, I'm the number 5.
I love it.
Yeah, I'd be wearing shirts. Like, why doesn't everybody listen to this song more? Right. Put it in ads.
Yeah.
Thanks for the change, Mike.
Somebody here says, how about owning the rights to green beans?
On the text.
I think that's a fine idea. How much could it possibly cost?
We're the only ones playing it.
We're the only people to play it. We
should reach out.
What's the name of the band? The Hungry Band or something?
Hungry Food Band.
Hungry Food Band. Like, guys, we don't want your entire catalog. Stellar as it is. We want this one song. How much could it possibly cost?
I'll tell you what's going to happen.
To own the rights.
They're going to smell a rat. They're going to think they're going to take that to, you know what I mean, some kind of vegetable company. They're going to take that.
You don't think they've already tried?
The vegetable board. You know what I mean? That does commercials for kids to try to get them to, eat their vegetables or something.
If they thought that, they would have already tried it. I mean, that's the only thing they've got on that. I'd say we try to buy the rights to the Green Bean song.
Okay.
I love that idea.
10 artists who made bank in 2021 coming up on Sit and Spin. Also today we'll see for more Men's Room on the Men's Room Happy Hour. A little Would You Rather as we made it to episode number 96. If you haven't checked out the Men's Room Happy Hour, Monday through Friday at 6, we head on over to the Odyssey app, and from there we give you more Men's Room, and the same rules that apply on these airwaves do not apply on the Odyssey app. Therefore, we don't have to abide by the 7 words that you can't say on the radio.
Hell, we can invent more if we wanted to.
Topics that we can not really talk about here. We can talk about there. We can be racist there. All the things.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
All the things we resist.
Bash on religion. Talk politics. All the things you should.
I didn't know you were waiting to be racist.
Oh, racist.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you just wanted to drop F-bombs.
F-bombs.
People get upset when we're openly racist on the air. So there. Oh.
Yeah. I want to
do
rap karaoke,
right.
But the idea is you got to go word for word on it, word for word, and we get to pick the song that the other person gets to do.
Miles does DMX.
That's exactly right.
He's doing Bobby Shmurda.
Can you imagine?
If anybody knows the song I'm talking about, it's not Hot Boy.
If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It's absolutely free, and then search for the Men's Room Happy Hour. That channel, by the way, only goes live when we go live at 6 o'clock. Monday through Friday. So you can download it now and favorite it and all that so you'll get an alert. But either way, bless you, there's not going to be anything there until we take those airwaves at 6. So hopefully if you haven't checked it out yet, check out the Men's Room Happy Hour. And today on the question, we're just going to basically ask, how did addiction or obsession get you into a little bit of trouble? Now, that might be at work. That could be at home. That could be in a relationship standpoint. That could be through the law. And depending on
there's that.
What your addiction is or what your obsession is, you know what I mean? You might have a little bit more difficult time depending on the relationship you're involved in. Are you at home? Are you living with someone? Is this affecting your work environment in any way? And we start with a story that you probably heard about out of Los Angeles. A California judge has refused to reinstate 2 former L.A. police officers who chose to play Pokemon Go rather than respond to a robbery in progress.
It bugs me more because they're adults, not even because they're I understand it's important that they're police officers, but I'm like, I played Pokemon Go once, and I wasn't playing. I was simply walking side by side with my daughter, who at the time was 9.
Sure, right. Well, the officers, they ignored a commanding officer's request for backup during a robbery at the Crenshaw Mall.
Jesus.
Their squad car was near the mall when the call went out. They left the area, prompting questions from a supervisor. The pair reportedly claimed they couldn't hear the radio due to noise, but their dash cam recorded the officer blatantly ignoring the request. I don't want to be his help. A guy named Officer Lozano told the USA Today, basically from the video, screw it. And for the next 20 minutes, the camera captured them discussing Pokemon as they drove to different locations, where the virtual creatures apparently appeared on their mobile phones. According to the Friday ruling from the California Court of Appeal, after catching a Snorlax Pokemon. Mike, I need your help. What is this?
Snorlax.
Snorlax. What is this?
Snorlax is a massive fat Pokemon that just likes to sleep all the time.
Is he worth many points? I mean, what's the...
Yeah, how does that... What is... like I said, my daughter, she would see things on the phone. She would get it or capture it or whatever, but I never really understood what the point was.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the point of Pokemon itself, is that you're going out and you gotta catch them all. You're trying to collect the entire collection of all the Pokemon. So that one is relatively rare. However, when it came to Pokemon Go, the rare ones seemed to just be everywhere at the same time. So
okay, all right.
It's good. It's a rare one that you couldn't get much in the game, but now you can get it on this Pokemon Go.
Well, after they caught the Snorlax, then Mitchell goes after the Togetic?
Togetic, you got it.
What is Togetic? Don't act like you don't know.
What is the Togetic?
So the Togetic, if I'm not mistaken, is the evolved form of Togepi, which showed up in like the second season of Pokemon.
Mike, you're not explaining anything.
Is this worth major points?
You are now just saying words.
It's another fairly rare Pokemon.
All right, okay. They both commented, you guys are going to be so jealous.
Who?
Because they got the Snorlax and the Togetic. Both officers were subsequently fined, though they complained that they were questioned without legal or representation and argued the department improperly used footage of their private conversations. While upholding a lower court ruling...
It's a dash cam in a car that you're in.
The judge found the department's use of the vehicle was justified. Indeed, it would be preposterous to require commanding officers and internal affairs investigators to ignore evidence of criminal or egregious misconduct simply because it was unintentionally captured. The judge also found the supervisor who questioned the officers before any misconduct was known for just doing their job. Court records said the officers chose to play the game on a busy day for the department, and more calls than police cars were available to respond. Officers' lawyers said they are disappointed and considering how to proceed. By the way, they were both fired today.
Finally today.
They were fired today from
they didn't do their job.
From the Los Angeles Police Department.
Yeah, and again, it's your dash cam. You have to know that is in your car.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's in your car. I'm not a cop. I would assume you know that it's in your car.
Didn't a lot of bad things happen to people initially when this game was coming out as far as getting involved?
People were getting hit by cars and
trespassing, going into dangerous areas, falling off cliffs, driving their cars on Forest Service roads, getting stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly, because they were being stupid while playing it. It's not like you have to stand in an exact area of square footage in order for this thing to pop out. The way that it does is that you open up the game and you're basically just on a GPS platform.
Yeah.
And in there, they got these little sections, these little pit stops that they have all over the place. And if you look at your little tracker there, your little radar, it's like, hey, this Pokemon's near this one. It's near that one. Go to the vicinity of those areas. I don't know why people are aimlessly wandering into the road.
Do they move? So in other words...
No!
So wherever I see it, that's where it's going to stay.
Right. I played it when I was out walking the dog because it was an entertaining thing to do while I was out walking the dog. And I walk around, and all of a sudden you hear it basically pop out of the bushes, just a little poof, as it pops out of the bushes. And then it stands there for a good 2 minutes, basically waiting for you to click on it. You don't got to be right next to it. It could be all the way on the other side of the doggone building from us, and I could get it from here. So I don't know why people were just walking out in the middle of the road.
But they were.
It didn't make sense. It made zero sense to me.
And people were mad at the Pokemon. I'm like, this is not Pokemon's fault that adults are walking aimlessly into the middle of the road.
Yeah, well, look.
And there was definitely a period where you just go certain places, and it's like, what are all these people doing here?
Yeah, I mean, again, my daughter got, I don't know, 2 years ago. It was the last time we traveled for Christmas. We're in Philadelphia. It was so goddamn cold. And all she wanted to do was go outside and look for this thing, and somehow I got volunteered out to go with her. And I didn't care, and she was excited, and she got a few things here and there. It was cold. It was cold. It just didn't seem exciting to me, but she was very happy. But I cannot believe the two cops lost their jobs. They're like,
Well, according to a paper published by Mara Fascio from Purdue University titled Death by Pokemon Go, there was a disproportionate increase in collisions near Pokestops in Indiana, which is where the study was conducted. What is a Pokestop?
That's what I was talking to you about. They're just buildings or landmarks. Churches, for some reason, got big with the Pokestops. But it's like, the sanctuary that we got across the street.
Yeah.
That would be a Pokestop. Just like, hey, come on over to the sanctuary. We got this Pokemon here. We got that Pokemon here. That sort of a thing.
After examining 12,000 police accident reports near one intersection in Indiana, the study found, and this is just Indiana, the study found a disproportionate increase in crashes near Pokestops from before the game was launched until it was. These crashes are associated with increases in the dollar amount of vehicular damage, number of personal injuries, numbers of fatalities. Specifically, a difference in difference analysis indicates that 134 crashes that occurred at locations were at the proximity of Pokestops. Compared to the following year, they were way higher than they were the previous year. They say that 134 crashes resulted in 31 personal injuries near Pokestops alone. Based on the findings, they concluded that users playing Pokemon Go near these stops, getting into collisions, incurred countywide, cost at least $5.2 million. Nationwide, about $7.3 billion.
Billion?
$7.3 billion.
All right, now let me ask you this, Mike.
Talk to me.
What do I get in return for collecting? Is it just personal satisfaction? Does it unlock something?
So there's a professor that'll talk with you, and he has these little missions that you can do. You need to catch X amount of this Pokemon or this type of Pokemon. You need to visit this many Pokestops, and if you go to the Pokestops, they've got like healing potions that you can use for when you bring them into combat. They've got other little things like that.
So I can use the Pokemon I've caught for some other purpose.
Right. You can.
I just need to know there's more to it than just finding them.
Right. So if you catch more of a certain Pokemon, they they just have these little tokens basically that they carry with them, and as you catch them and basically send them, I don't know exactly how to say it, you're basically processing these Pokemon, but you get more of these tokens that you can use to upgrade your better versions of that one, if you will. So if you catch like 9 of these doggone things,
so I can get like breast implants for the turf you wife.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
They all carry different levels as you catch them. You can upgrade their levels with that sort of a thing, and then you take them to the gyms that they have all over the place, and then you can actually battle them there.
Huh.
Okay. All right.
Arizona couple left their 2-year-old at home to drive around and play Pokemon Go. The 2 were arrested on child neglect charges. The stories go on.
How long were they gone?
In Flagstaff, man was walking in the parking lot.
Right?
He was playing Pokemon Go when he was hit hard on the back of the head. He blacked out briefly. When he woke up, he said 4 men were digging through his pockets. They fled when he started swinging his wrist. Firefighters rescued 2 men who fell 90 feet off a cliff.
Shoo.
Jeez.
What?
Fell 90 feet off of a cliff.
Yeah, while hunting Pokemon in California. One man fell all the way down to the beach below, while the other fell about 50 feet down the cliff. Another 2 U.S. Marines helped police catch a wanted murder suspect who was harassing children who were playing the game. The 2 Marines were also playing Pokemon Go when they noticed the man inappropriately touching the kids.
Jesus.
It was later discovered that the man had a warrant out for his arrest. These stories go on. Man stabbed multiple times playing Pokemon Go. Teams robbed at gunpoint. Player beaten and robbed in Davis County, California.
The sad thing is, apparently, they had the best intent when they released the game. According to a texter here, and I've heard of this before, they say Pokemon Go was originally released with the intent for people to get out of the house and exercise, right? And go explore the town you're in.
Yeah.
How did your addiction or obsession get you into a little bit of trouble? 206-421-ROM.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro.
Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case.
Dude, no way.
You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cashback Match. Now to recap and say cashback one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
A couple of
destroying the poor guy.
A couple of programming notes here. Yeah. I got to tell you guys, you have a chance to win tickets to see Ghost and Volpe Climate Fred's Arena. Yes, what a show that's going to be. We've been told every day to pick a different time and then give you the secret word.
Okay.
What you do there. Now listen, people. Okay, if you want to go see this show, you go to KISW.com. You click on the contest page. You put in the code word, the secret word. That is your chance to win tickets. If you text in the code word, nothing will happen. If you email it in, nothing will happen. You will not win the tickets. The only way is to go to KISW.com. It's amazing how many people on the text line will text in the code word.
Oh, yeah.
We give it. That's not how you win. You have to go to KISW.com. We decided today we're going to pick the time
420.
Ooh, I like that.
420.
That's a good time.
That way you remember the time.
Crazy.
We will give you the secret word. Then, again, KISW.com. Do not email us. Speaking of emailing us, if you would like to email in a birthday request, we do believe that we have the email up and running now at the men's room.
Think so.
At KISW.com. We're not sure, but we believe that is going on. So hopefully we'll be able to get back to your birthday request today, since the email's up and running. All right, our question, how did your addiction or obsession get you into a little bit of trouble? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Kevin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, hombres.
Hola.
Well, golfing and fishing did my marriage in.
It actually did your marriage in?
Did my marriage in. It wasn't intentional at first until I started getting threats from her, and then I was thinking, this is the easy way out, so I golfed and fished as much as I could.
How long were you married before the S started hitting the fan?
About 17 years.
Damn.
Okay, right. And so what was the issue? She didn't want to be on her own for 4 or 5 hours, or like she wanted to spend every minute with you, or what was the, because it's, golf is expensive, I get that, and so is fishing, but it's not like crazy money.
I made money fishing. I was a part-time fishing guy, and I'm a contractor, but I was a part-time fishing guy too. And then I just loved golf and fishing, and I'm very, aggressive when I do something. I stick to it, and she started making threats, so I was like, okay, this is going to work for me then.
But I mean, what are the threats? Because to Miles' point, neither one of these things is remarkably expensive, right? So you're not like hemorrhaging money, and then after 17 years of marriage, you're not dying to be in each other's company.
You would think you would know each other's interests, and you know what I mean? Like, let them go.
My wife would like me to start golfing and fishing to get me the hell out of the house.
What if you were a long-haul trucker? Or what if you were away on business all the time? Right. Or had a different job? I mean, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be too different, correct?
Probably not. We ended up staying together 22, but the last 4.5 are just little boy.
I think it's different with a job, as opposed to choosing to do something.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
I still did my job. I still made money. I still supported the family really well. It's just that she was obsessive, didn't like me to do anything, didn't like me to have fun.
Well, what were the words out of her mouth? Like, you golf too much, or you're not spending enough time at home? Like, what was the angle?
Why are you putting deodorant on to go fishing for the weekend?
Because I'm going to be on a boat with a bunch of dudes for a couple days. Well, that's just like anything else. Those are the two things, man. Those are the two things, honest to God, where I truly believe, like, if you're with someone, they can't be worried about you philandering about on them if they know anything about golf. Okay?
Or fishing.
Right. Like, this is not where you want to go if you're a single man to try to hook up. I mean, it's just, trust me, I've been on golf outings. There are 8 dudes who won't shut up till 3 o'clock in the morning playing Texas Hold'em. There's not a woman within 3 miles. Right. Anywhere we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a better chance of getting, a world record fish or hitting 3 holes in one round of golf than you do getting laid at some of these places.
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly.
No, but.
And sometimes I'd be gone for 7 days on a guided fishing excursion with the company that I work for, and, I'd shower before I left, and she's like, why are you taking a shower? Why are you bringing deodorant? Why are you shaving? Well, I don't want to stink for 7 days.
Right.
Was she that paranoid? Yeah. I mean, look, if I'm going out of town for 3 days, it's like, do you have deodorant? Take all the things you do to be a normal human being to interact with people. So,
right.
How about now, man? I'm assuming. Now, wait, you said that you're licensed fishing guide, so you got paid to do that, right?
Yeah. I didn't do it full time. I just had a guide license on the side because I love to fish, and why not make money doing it? I was pretty good at it, and people love the salmon and steelhead fish. So I said, what the heck? I might as well make money doing it.
And didn't you bring home a big bag of fish every time you came back too?
Oh yeah, I bring home fish.
See, that would be just fine with me.
Fish either.
Baby, you're leaving for 7 days, and you're going to just bring home fresh fish? I am in. That sounds like a dream relationship.
I mean, like, so I get it if you've been together for 1.5 years, but after 17 years, my wife said, hey, me and a couple of friends, we're going to leave for 3 months. Okay. The beginning and the end of the... Hey, where are you going? Okay.
Girls and I are going to go, wine... What do they call that? When you go wine tastings, when you go to different wineries?
Like Napa and all that crap?
No, even if it's just here, like in the Woodinville area.
Okay.
Spending the day, someone's going to get married or whatever. They're just going to go out and do, like, I don't know, some kind of shower, bridal shower. I don't know what the hell they call it.
Don't care.
Yeah, just go have fun.
You know what I mean? And just know if you get too hammered, first of all, please don't buy as much wine as you normally do at the very last stop. I've noticed that.
It's always the last one.
It's always and then by that point in time, the ladies always seem to be so hammered, they realize that maybe they didn't pick the best wine. It just happened to be, like the last
But
wine.
that's how the wineries do it. If they get part of a tour, like you want to be the last winery on the tour because that is where the money parts from the hands. So you can be the worst goddamn winery, but they've had a great time. Look, we would do it too if we went to a bunch of different distilleries.
Right.
And the last, Yukon Jack, which I openly say I don't like. But they go, hey man, you can buy a bottle. I would come home with like 15 bottles of Yukon Jack.
Just because
that's the last stop. I'm hammered. The good times are rolling. Hell yeah, I'll buy Yukon Jack.
Right. And then, dude, you ever been to one of those events? I don't even know what they're called, but like there's like restaurants there and like booze places. Like we used to have it, right? Like tacos and tequila.
Okay, yeah.
But it's the same thing, or bourbon and bacon. Like halfway through, you're like, this is the best goddamn bourbon I ever had.
I know. No, absolutely.
But it's like, right, I'm already kind of half of the bag, so I don't really know.
Can't even
it still tastes delicious. Yeah, absolutely. I had, my thing was, I've always just liked smoking weed. And way before the weed was legal, it was something that it takes a little while to find a person to get the weed from.
Right.
They're never dependable. Whenever you get the weed, you better be able to buy as much as you possibly can at that point in time because you never know when it's going to show up again.
Sure.
And you never know, if it's going to be any good or not or whatever the deal is. There'd be months at a time where things just dried up. So I'd always like to have some type of, reserve of weed. Now, the person that I was cohabitating with, who we shared a bank account because we accidentally got married. She, we weren't the wealthiest in the world, so we were getting by. We had enough to pay the rent and everything else, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like there was $200 available for me to go buy weed. Right. That was for groceries. That was for bills. That was for all the other things that were important, like I don't know, kids and stuff. Anyway, so I had this side hustle, but I didn't let her know. And that was recording television commercials.
All right, the voiceover stuff.
So I would do television commercials, and then at various studios and different radio spots, and then they would pay me per spot. I would take that money, I'd take it to the bank, and I'd cash that check. But that never happened, you see.
Right.
I never really did any of that stuff because that was my weed money. So
but that's fair. Like, look, I'm doing a side job to support my weed habit.
But not only that, this was not that she was the biggest fan of.
No, I understand that. Then she can get a side job to pay for the things she wants to do.
She did not like me doing this. It was just not her thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could drink a half a bottle of Jack Daniels. That would not have been an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but the weed was.
And if I was with her friends and her certain friends, if they put a couple lines on the table, she wouldn't care if I got into that. She hated weed. So, and it was one of those things where...
So it wasn't because it was illegal.
That was part of it. And you're like in the
she'll do lines of cocaine.
She kind of had that stigma about that particular drug. You know, like you're lazy, you're hippie, like dirtbag, like blah 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 blah. And I was like,
you married me.
I just like smoking weed, man. Right. That's basically what it was. But I was doing a bunch of different commercials for the equivalent of Xfinity and all kinds of different things, cable commercials and all this stuff. Well, a couple car dealerships were major car dealerships in the area. And I'm telling you, it always seemed like every commercial break on television was this car dealership that I did. And she would say to me, that's the guy that sounds just like you.
And were you like, not at all, or I've heard that before?
No, I'd be on the couch and just be like, what? She's like, that guy. Do you hear that guy right there? I'm like, what guy? She's like, the guy on the TV right now who's doing the guy who owns a car dealership? She's like, no, the voice on top of him. Do you hear this guy? And I'm like, I mean, kind of. You know how, like, you leave a message and it doesn't sound like you when you listen to it back? I was like, that to me, that does not sound what my voice sounds like to me, so I don't really know, all this stuff. And basically...
How many years was she listening to you on TV and had no idea that it was you?
At least 5. I mean, at least. I mean, we moved there in 94, so to 2002. So, yeah, like 6, 7 years. I mean, I was constantly... That's how I know Traffic Jam Jimmy. I used to do commercials for the guy who said too early for a fish sandwich. He worked at Fox 45 in Baltimore. He'd call me up and say, hey, man, could you come in and do a couple spots? And me being me, because he paid me cash right on the spot, I'd be like, dude, I will be there in 15 minutes. I don't have $1 on me.
Yeah.
Even if it was just to go to the bar to drink with my friends, I just needed some cash that was unaccounted for. You know what I mean? So that's how I made my money. But, I mean, I think she kind of knew but I don't think she knew how deep it was because I was hustling.
Right.
Like I'd sent stuff to every single production house in the D.C. and Baltimore area. I was driving to like Virginia to do voiceovers where I'd have to make up like stories of why I was gone for 2.5 hours because sometimes you get stuck on the Beltway to go cut
Not
spots.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know.
But also when you're getting paid right away, like everybody did stuff.
Right. The only time was like one time she got into my Word perfect because we would just join computer, saw all these invoices, you know, because I had to send out invoices for the work that I was doing, you know, and she got a hold of a couple of those, but I don't think she really thought
the magnitude.
She didn't know how many of those did not go out. You know what I'm saying? Where I just go to a studio and cut some stuff. But that was it. I did it because I love weed and I just didn't want to hear
I think that's perfectly okay, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was
what you would tell your kid.
It's a little bit of trouble. It wasn't a lot of trouble. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
but it's what you would tell your kid, like, you know, when they're a certain age, like, I understand you are really into blah.
Right.
If you want to finance it,
sure,
you need to do a side hustle.
And her side deal was this. She would go shopping, but she wouldn't take anything out of the trunk. All right, so she would take she might have 8, 9 things in the trunk, right? But she'd only take one thing out at a time. And it was her car. I never bothered with it, but I knew for a fact at any point in time, if I opened that trunk, and it was always the same thing, I'm going to return that.
Right. Yeah, everything's going to be returned.
The receipt's still in there. I'm going to return
My experience, they've never purchased anything that they did not plan on returning.
I'm like, how much did you spend on this? Back to the old equation of, you know, I got a great deal on those shoes. You know, and okay, maybe they were on sale, but that doesn't mean they still weren't $200. Right. You know what I mean? I mean, yes, they were $250. Yes, you got a deal.
Yay.
But I mean, she was just in a little bit of trouble. I mean, not like I'm just like, well, great. Well, I didn't feel as bad for doing what I was doing, but I still kept my hustle on the down low.
Yeah, I'd keep it quiet, but I wouldn't feel bad about it.
Because I want to pick my battles. I don't need that crap. All I want to do is be able to buy some weed. It doesn't need to be that big of a deal. I know it is for you. I just don't care. You know?
Don't smoke it. Your problem is solved.
But I was going to say, that's why shopping's easier, because you can't tell.
No, you can't.
Like, if I stay out too late and come home and be like, oh, you're a little drunk.
All right.
You know, or you smell like weed. Where it's like, I can't be like, you smell like the mall.
You smell like new shoes.
Exactly. And then, I mean, she knows. I mean, like, do you remember the last time I wore this shirt?
No. No.
It was our 5th anniversary dinner. It was a good steak.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember your shirt. I remember that I got a crab cocktail.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, that sounds good.
I don't know what you were wearing. How did your addiction or obsession get you into a little bit of trouble? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Scotty. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bicholas, long-time listener, serial caller, and greetings from your friendly neighborhood Kiss Army Night. What's up, buddy?
Hola.
Hola. Got one for you guys.
All right.
Hit us.
Thought I was going to get myself just a nice little hobby. Picked up a 5-gallon aquarium, and oh my God, the chemicals, the fish, the plants, the little jelly balls you put in there. My savings, I'm dumping about $100, $150 a month, and there goes my savings budget, guys. What do I do?
Well, how long have you been doing this?
I started off with the fish bowl, with the beta, and I had them in there for a couple of years and tried to upgrade them, threw some frogs and some little catfish in there, and now I got a full-blown scenario, and if I don't feed them, they're going to die. What do I do? Put bleach in the water? I can't bring myself to it.
But this is something that has truly become of interest to you. Like, I've had fish, and I'm like, we'll have fish until they die. And then when they die, I've had no more fish. And I understand some people love the aquarium life thing. Is this something that really resounds with you? Like, man, I really like keeping all of these goddamn different aquatic animals.
Well, I got some, I'm a military veteran through the Gulf War and a veteran of the DOC first responder. And sometimes, bro, there ain't nothing like sitting there and staring at that fish tank. So maybe it's worth it, therapeutic value. But I tell you what, my savings budget sure going down. These little guys are expensive.
What about, you're always, every time you call up, you have to tell us that you're a proud member of the KISS Army. Now, if you are so, do you have a vast collection of KISS memorabilia in your home?
Brother, I have got stuff. I got the first comic book with the blood. I got an issue of their very first album, Without Kiss in Time. All their autographs numerous times. A drumhead signed in the 70s with Peter Criss and the rest of the band. Bro, I got a guitar pick with Ace Frehley and a Christmas hat. Bro, and I'm going to see Ace coming up here in Everett, bro. And I'm dressing up like an astronaut and see if he'll sign my helmet.
How much money, including the fact you spent money on an astronaut helmet, how much money do you think you've put into your KISS obsession?
Oh, Lord. Well, that's a separate budget. I just dumped about $350 on the box set, but I've got thousands of dollars worth of...
That box set cost you $350?
Oh, bro, it's got the KISS Army membership card in it. I need one.
Well, there you go.
All right, okay.
Paul Stanley knighted me personally, so I'm still high and I don't do drugs, but I'm keeping the card for memorabilia.
Yeah, see, like, I'm a fan of KISS, but if you were my spouse, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you kept spending all this money on KISS stuff, if I did not like the band, this could be a bit of an issue. You know what I'm saying?
But even if you do like a band or an artist, depending on how much they spend, like... I like them mostly for nostalgic purposes. It was awesome when I was a kid. And yes, I spent, $750 on the gold record at the silent auction. And then most recently, they did a 40-year reissue of their album, Destroyer. But it was only like $50. It wasn't outrageous. So I saw it here at work. It popped up, right? So I'm like, ooh. I sent the link to my wife. She goes, do you need this? I said, of course I don't. So she ordered it for me.
Oh, see, but that's right. That's cool.
But I understood the price tag on it because I thought it'd be a lot more, right? When I looked down, I'm like, $50. I'm like, she's not, I almost cussed. She's not going to flip me a bunch of S for this. You know what I mean? It's like, that gold record, not a fan of that. She let it go because she understood. As soon as we walked that auction, I'm like, I'm buying that. And she's like, what if other people bid? I said, then I'm going to spend more than them. And she just knew this was going to happen. So the only stipulation she had, and it's proven to be true, she goes, look, get that stupid-ass gold record, because she hates the band. I said, that's fair. And she goes, you can hang it up anywhere you want as long as I can't see it. So I have a little music room.
This is a common theme, though.
But I'm okay with that, because I got this little music room where I got all my band equipment and stuff, and it's hanging up in there. And every time I walk in, I'm more than happy to see it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I get it.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So the article goes, my husband plays Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
He's always played even before we were married, but he's always been kind of off and on, never really spent a lot of money on it until recently. A game store opened up a lot closer, and now he spends all his free time there playing Magic. He works full-time. He's going back to school, which takes up a lot of his time on his own. He goes to play Magic several nights, days a week, and plans his entire life and schedule around Magic the Gathering. We never do anything as a couple or as a family anymore because all of his free time is spent playing Magic. Saturdays, he will leave at 11 a.m., then not come home until after midnight. He does handle our finances. We both work. I make more than he does, but he is the one who actually handles the budget. Now, I've never taken much interest in it as long as the bills were paid. We have a joint account the bills come out of. Then we each have our own personal account with our own personal fun stuff allowance. Well, recently, I've noticed that he's been buying a lot more cards than he could reasonably afford with what we have agreed to be our, quote, monthly allowance. I mentioned it to him, and he quickly assured me that he had money saved, and that's how he could afford them. Okay, fast forward to yesterday. I've noticed that our savings account has been growing. So I checked the account and noticed that the monthly scheduled deposit for savings has been cut in half. I opened his account and saw that he has been diverting the money to himself and spending every dime on Magic the Gathering stuff. Then last night, I found a way to bring it up to him. He bought a collection off a guy, and I overheard how much he spent. But when I asked him directly, he told me a much smaller number. Well, I checked the accounts again this morning to see if he actually withdrew money from savings to pay for it this time. As well, he lied to me about how much he spent on it. So not only is he diverting our savings deposits to fund this addiction, he's now started to deplete savings to do so. I'm at a loss on how to approach this. Love my husband very much. I don't know how to approach him without being accusing. I want him to be able to understand that this is an addiction and he has to stop as he is hurting our financial future as well as my trust for him. We've been married for 2 years, together for 4. We've never had a fight. We never get into fights. I've always trusted him unconditionally, but knowing that he's lying and taking money from savings for Magic the Gathering is seriously impairing that trust now. And to be fair, it's not even about the money. Our bills are paid. We have a comfortable life. We both spend money from the joint account that should be all rights ours. If he's lying about it, though, the sneaking is a problem, and the fact that it is escalating, apparently, I just don't know what to do. So there's a case of someone who tired of the husband doing the magic thing.
Somebody here says, that's from BJ's wife.
Oh, God.
It's not a bad call.
How did your addiction or obsession get you into a little bit of trouble? 206-421-ROCK.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.